On this visit here today to the award-winning Miller Zero development in Basingstoke, it's a great opportunity for me to update you on the work we've been doing on a minimum energy efficiency standard for zero carbon homes. Quite appropriately, I'm stood here today between the code level 4 home and the code level 5 home, approximately 70% at code level 4.5. Over the last couple of months, we've brought together people from across the industry to form a core group to come up with a recommendation for a minimum energy efficiency standard for zero carbon homes. Having completed that work, we launched a series of consultation events with the industry to get your views on what you thought of the work that we've done so far. Following those consultation events, we've done a presentation to the Housing Minister, and we're looking forward to an announcement very soon of how that standard will feed into a revised co-sustainable homes and how that will form the platform for zero carbon homes of the future and from 2016. As you can imagine, working on the definition for minimum energy efficiency standard is no mean feat. This is a complicated area, highly complex from a technical perspective as well. But what we've been seeking to do is to set a level which is challenging but practical and can be achieved day in, day out as we deliver mass scale low and zero carbon homes. So we're going to take the opportunity now to tell you a bit more detail about what's been proposed.
Following the Housing Minister's announcement in July 2009 that there would be a definition for minimum energy efficiency for zero carbon homes by the end of 2009, the Zero Carbon Hub collected together a broad spectrum of industry representatives so that we could understand the breadth of issues that needed to be considered when defining such a level. Following the creation of the core task group, 3 working groups were also created. They covered form and fabric, building services and lighting. The task of those groups was to do the deeper technical research, so the task group itself had the information required to make decisions. This included energy modelling in CSAP and also Passive House Planning Package, architectural construction detailing, also looking at buildability issues. The consultation responses gave the task group the confidence to move on and refine their decision process. So what were the results? Well, the scope of the energy efficiency standard is space cooling and space heating energy demand. By that I mean the passive measures within the building, so the U value of the fabric, the way it's detailed, the air tightness, the thermal mass, the orientation of the building are all covered by the fabric minimum energy efficiency standard for zero carbon homes. Now when you move to the next level of analysis of what is actually meant by this, we needed to decide were we going to have an elemental or a prescriptive standard, or were we going to have a performance standard? The decision by the task group was they would go with a performance metric, and by that I mean it's kilowatt hours per metre squared per year. What that means is rather than having elemental specs for each part of the building, the wall, the floors, the windows, there's one headline figure for particular building types. That allows you to optimise both your supply chain and your design skills within each building company. So what are the actual numbers? Well, we came up with 2 numbers, and the reason for that is that certain dwelling types are more inherently energy efficient than others. The obvious example being a mid-floor flat which only has one external heat loss wall compared to a large detached house that would have a much larger heat loss area compared to its floor area. What we wanted to do as a task group was make sure that the standard was equally challenging for all dwelling types. If we had just one line, then it may be really easy for flats to achieve it, but almost impossible for a detached house. So there are 2 numbers. The first number, which applies to apartments, flats, whichever way you like to refer to them, and to mid-terrace properties, is 39 kilowatt hours per metre squared per year. The other number, which applies to semi-detached, end of terrace and detached houses, is 46. Now the key thing to note here is that by having those different numbers for the end of terrace and the mid terrace, in reality it means that the build specification, so the thicknesses of your walls, your air tightness target, is the same for that whole terrace. It's that link to the practicality of delivering the standard is one of the great things that's come out of the task group.
Okay, so now the proposals are with the Minister. We're confident they're going to be taken forward. This will set the level for zero carbon new homes and for the Code for Sustainable Homes as well. So our role now is to support the industry during this very important period, this transition, whilst we adapt to start to build homes of the future.